on the Fringe with Dan Radio style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. Pam Bondi and, well, Mr. RFK Jr. They, I think, passed the vote so far. And we'll see who else maybe gets through today. But a lot of crazy things happening. A lot of information being called out. USAID is blowing up. So much happening. It's an incredible time to be alive. And it's just getting better and better. Oh, want to remind people, I have picked the music for Friday. I'm going to be doing a, Dua Lipa is actually the one who's kind of inspired this whole thing. So got some songs from her and just a lot of songs from that kind of general genre. It's going to be sort of a dance kind of thing. Be kind of fun. I don't know. Newer music. It'll be a fun show this week. 3 p.m. Pacific time on Friday, live anyways, if you want to join. If not, you can watch it after. But 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 Central, and we're rocking and rolling is how that generally works. Okay, let's get this ball rolling. Funny video that's going around. Not funny, but kind of, I don't know, crazy. This is a GIF. It's not even a video. And they're claiming that the U.S. Navy is now shooting these ginormous lasers. First off, this is a ginormous laser. The focal point's not that good. So either A, this is insane like the Death Star, or I don't know, just isn't boding well with me. It could be being shot from the boat at a distance, and maybe its focal point's meant to get smaller down range. Very possible. The flashing's a trip. I don't know. I don't know if it's real or not. I have no idea. No way to confirm whether this is real or not. So, I don't know. Wanted to share it because it's kind of cool, but don't know if it's real. Elon Musk posted in regards to this, or reposted, Rothmus put out, remember, the same people terrified of Doge want to hire 80,000 additional IRS agents to audit you. We are at war, folks. Another piece of information I can't confirm, but, even if sort of true, gets you thinking in the proper direction. It might be actually accurate, but I wish that, me and sources, it bugs the hell out of me that people don't source their stuff, especially when you're giving specifics. But supposedly, Ukrainian officials released the kickback numbers they gave U.S. politicians. Joe Biden, 92 million, Mitch McConnell, 89, Nancy Pelosi at 86, Chuck Schumer, 66, Lindsey Graham, 82 million, Mitt Romney, 71 million. If these numbers are proven true, Elizabeth Cheney, $77 million, McCarthy at 42 million, Jamie Raskin, our pirate man, $38 million in his chest. Mike Pence, 61 million. Again, don't know if it's true. Hakeem Jeffries, 74. Ilhan Omar, 33. Elizabeth Warren, 42. I have no money on anything. Pocahontas. First flights of the United States into Guantanamo Bay are happening. Also got a hit up from a friend that's out in military land. And they said a bunch of people got orders, 24 hours, you're heading to Guantanamo. So that's also kind of some confirmation that some major stuff's going on. But literally, yeah, they're already sending flights. Here is our new press secretary talking about it. Look at this chick. She's awesome.
President Trump is not messing around, and he's no longer going to allow America to be a dumping ground for illegal criminals from nations all over this world. And so El Salvador has not just agreed to the repatriation of their own citizens, but also illegal criminals from other nations who will then be sent to their prisons. Venezuela as well has agreed to repatriation flights, and Colombia also agreed to cooperate with the repatriation of illegal Colombian nationals that we have found in the interior of our country. And I can also confirm that today, the first flights from the United States to Guantanamo Bay with illegal migrants are underway.
It's happening. It is underway, as she said. According to DeSantis, hang on, let's get to the top. Governor DeSantis, he unveiled a new nationwide state holiday tax, a summer holiday tax or whatever, but he is literally giving a Second Amendment summer holiday tax. Folks, here's what the thing. He's not going to charge any tax on ammunition, weapons, firearms, whatever you want to call it, probably even some of the paraphernalia, maybe, the related accessories, they say. I would consider this some fortuitous information that's going to help you understand that what's coming, or protect yourself from potentially what's coming, especially you in Florida or people that can very easily get down there. But no tax is a wonderful thing if you're going to be buying Second Amendment stuff. So just keep that in mind. Don't know exactly what's happening, but I don't think it'll be good for the stock market. I'll tell you that. If you've got a 401k or an IRA, highly recommend you consider diversifying some of those funds out of something that's kind of shaky and wobbly right now into something that's just going up a lot. Gold and silver have been performing admirably, to say the least, over the past number of years. In fact, people are really kind of netting positive on buying power. It's one of the two assets, Bitcoin and it, are the only ones right now that are actually netting positive when it comes to buying power. Cash, currency, stocks, all those things are up. But when you look at inflation and how you've lost buying power, you can't quite buy as much with that same money today as you could yesterday. So the increment of raise, if you will, is not sufficient. Precious metals are a very awesome, safe place to help diversify, help park some of those eggs into a different basket that's not as volatile and is definitely just going to perform well, no matter what. And then if we do happen to go into a new currency, well, it's going to be probably precious metals backed as well as other resources like oil. If it's not, well, you'll still be able to buy back. And Goldco's got the highest price buyback guarantee. Odds are the Fed's got to go, kind of, right? And they always said gold would kill the Fed. Again, Goldco doesn't believe in all the crazy crap I talk about. Goldco is amazing at doing what they need to do, and that's helping you get out of this tax-free and penalty-free. That's what they're amazing with. You've got all of this, like, years of working stuck into this kind of deep state system, right? And so because of that, you probably want to diversify. Probably. I would think about it. At least get the 4 data points going. Get the data. It's called the Gold and Silver Kit for 2025. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Check it out. Get the information. It's going to help you assess the potential to protect a bunch of that wealth that you've spent a bunch of years doing. You can still keep some of that stock market. They always say, you don't lose money unless you sell. Well, when you're in an upstring, which we kind of sort of are, and you sell then, you're actually selling at the top, or at least close to it. And gold and silver still spiking because of all the crazy stuff going on. And again, China's got a tariff war going on with us. Europe, we're going to see what happens, but that'll be interesting. We've got the deep state literally coming out because they don't like the idea we're shutting down USAID. A lot of crazy things are happening. The deep state is being affected. Seriously, something to think about. Go to drslikesgold.com. drslikesgold.com. Protect that wealth before they before they shake apart. I don't know which one happens first. Press Secretary talking about USAID money spent already, and we've got another slide coming up in a while that even goes deeper, I think, with these numbers.
You're watching live coverage.
Through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you, guys.
Peace out, drop the mic. And yeah, she's serious about what's going on. She also says she can confirm that Elon Musk is not a special government employee and kind of addresses that big narrative that's being spun right now by the deep state. Which, of course, we're the news now, though, so we're going to make sure the proper narrative moves forward. We're going to ripple like we've never rippled before.
Can you confirm that Elon Musk is a special government employee?
Yes.
What kind of security clearance does he have?
I can confirm he's a special government employee. I can also confirm that he has abided by all applicable federal laws. As for his security clearance, I'm not sure, but I can check back with you.
Did he pass a background check, do you know?
I don't know about the security clearance, but I can check.
And do you know about anyone who's on his team that was at USAID this weekend or at Treasury Department, whether they also have security clearances?
I don't know, but I can check on that for you. Sure.
What's awesome is she's talking about the security clearance background check, but see, he's doing stuff for the government. He's launched military satellites for the government. He's got a version of the Starlink for military. It's already up. He's already launched stuff. If you think for some reason he doesn't have some sort of clearance already, please. Now, we'll see how it plays out. This is, I think, meant to be the way they're saying it. She probably knows. Trump hasn't confirmed or hasn't been confirmed to her, but much like many of us, she's probably well aware of the fact this dude's got government contracts. He's probably well vetted for the most part, right? So let's just let the narrative have some extra leash to hang itself with. Here's, of course, Raskin. I played this, I think, yesterday, but still kind of just want to keep this on the burner because, well, it's going to make even extra sense here coming up.
Elon Musk, you didn't create USAID. The United States Congress did for the American people. And just like Elon Musk did not create USAID, he doesn't have the power to destroy it. And who's going to stop him? We are. We're going to stop him.
Sounds like he's almost trying to get himself to believe that, doesn't it? Yeah, kind of. Don't worry. We got some fun stuff here. Members of Congress are attempting to enter the USAID building. They want in. They want to see if they can get their stuff out of the locker room. I'm not sure. I think they get their own little workout space in there. I'm kidding, making that up, but don't know. They want to. You got Ilhan Omar there. We're going to have her pop back up into conversations a little later. So crazy stuff is going on. Trump's got a USAID pause going on, and it's really, really, really pissing people off right now. Really pissing people off. And I don't know what this was initially supposed to be, but it doesn't seem as though it's what it should have been. But yes, the deep state is freaking out all over the place. Democratic Senator Brian Schatz is putting a hold on Trump's State Department nominees. This is coming because he's trying to fight this USAID thing. He's from Hawaii. Go figure, right? That both of the two nut jobs from Hawaii. No offense to the Hawaiians out there. You can't agree with that lady, Hona. What is her name? I don't even know what her name is, but she's ridiculous. You guys, come on. That's out of control. But anywho, Schatz says he's on the Foreign Relations Committee. He said his move is a protest to Trump billionaire advisor Elon Musk declaring that he and Trump will shut down the U.S. Agency for International Development. Pretty much. He's going to dismantle it. And all that. So, yeah, we got some Democrats that are coming out on record, kind of demonstrating who and what they are. So I went ahead and went to the most trusted source of information that's out there. Yes, Wikipedia, of course. The United States Agency for International Development, USAID, is an independent agency of the United States government that is primarily responsible for administering civilian foreign aid and development assistance with a budget of over $50 billion. USAID is one of the largest official aid agencies in the world and accounts for more than half of all U.S. foreign assistance. The highest in the world is in absolute dollar terms. USAID has had missions in over 100 countries, primarily Africa, Asia, Latin America, Middle East, and Eastern Europe. In 2025, the second Trump administration announced sweeping changes, of course. The creation. So this is kind of interesting from what we've heard. Now, again, this is Wikipedia, so do I trust Raskin the Pirate? Matey. Or do I trust Wikipedia? I'm going to go with Wikipedia for the moment. Congress passed the Foreign Assistance Act in September 4th, 1961. Congress, they passed the Foreign Assistance Act. We'll get there in a sec. It recognized U.S. foreign assistance programs and mandated the creation of an agency to administer economic aid. It mandated the creation of an agency to give economic aid. Now, there can still be another agency, just a new one. USAID was subsequently established by the executive order of President John F. Kennedy. It was an executive order that created USAID. There, Raskin. Yar, matey. It looks like this might be checkmate. It was not Congress. You guys passed a thing that said we needed to have a group that did this. It doesn't have to be USAID. John F. Kennedy made USAID so you guys could have an agency that did that. It's obviously been hijacked. Trump is taking back control of it because he legally can, because it was created by the executive branch. None of this is going to survive the pain when it gets to court, but it will eventually be figured out in court. I think Trump's going to move forward anyway. We've got suspicions of that, or at least information suggesting that. USAID's unified is already existing U.S. and aid. What was this? It's combining the economic and technical assistance operations of the International Cooperation Administration. This is very hard to read and not good to listen to. Why did I put this? The act provides no assistance. The act provides that no assistance is to be provided to a government which engages in consistent pattern of gross violations of internationally recognized human rights. So if we're giving it to stuff that's got human rights issues, such as torture, cruel, inhumane, degrading treatment, punishment, prolonged detention without charges. A lot of the governments that we give money to do this kind of stuff. Essentially, if we know we're giving money to these groups, then it breaks what USAID was supposed to stand for. This is why, and this is really the backing of why Trump kind of has a legal argument to say we're looking into it because this act provides that X. We know that there's a lot of crazy stuff happening with this money. We've found evidence of it, and there's probably better things that we can do to help the world than, teaching turtles to become homosexual or whatever. Or as my girlfriend calls them, turtle. Love it. My favorite word, as she says, turtle. Secretary Marco Rubio is now in charge of USAID. This is freaking out a lot of people, but it is what it is. He's in charge. They are no longer able to do whatever the hell they want to do. Rubio was even talking about it. Here's some of this on Fox.
You're now the head of USAID. The head of Doge, Elon Musk, called USAID a criminal organization and added that it is time for it to die. Do you agree with that?
They have basically evolved into an agency that believes that they're not even a U.S. government agency, that they are a global charity, that they take the taxpayer money and they spend it as a global charity, irrespective of whether it is in the national interest or not in the national interest. One of the most common complaints you will get if you go to embassies around the world from State Department officials and ambassadors and the like is USAID is not only not cooperative, they undermine the work that we're doing in that country. They are supporting programs that upset the host government for whom we're trying to work with on a broader scale and so forth. So they're completely unresponsive. They just don't consider that they work for the U.S. They just think they're a global entity and that their master is the globe and not the United States. And that's not what the statute says, and that's not sustainable.
Can it be reformed or does it need to die?
Well, that was always the goal, was to reform it. But now we have rank insubordination. Now we have basically an active effort where their basic attitude is we don't work for anyone. We work for ourselves. No agency of government can tell us what to do. So the president made me the acting administrator. I've delegated that power to someone who's there full time, and we're going to go through the same process at USAID as we're going through now at the State Department. I think there are this is not about getting rid of foreign aid. There are things that we do through USAID that we should continue to do that makes sense. And we'll have to decide, is that better through the State Department or is that better through something, a reformed USAID? That's the process we're working through. There are things that are happening at USAID that we should not be involved in funding, or that we have a lot of questions about. But they're completely uncooperative. So we had no choice but to take dramatic steps to bring this thing under control.
Do you think that
We are the news now. The deep state's not going to win this narrative. We will. So they are not going to be able to have their way. We will destroy them through rippling the information. Elon Musk targets closure of U.S. humanitarian aid agency. Talking about closing it down completely. Trump administration said it would lock the U.S. Agency for International Development workers out of their headquarters in downtown Washington, D.C. for a second day on Tuesday, today, as they move to shutter the agency. Monday lockout added to the chaos that has consumed the agency, which distributes billions of dollars of humanitarian aid around the world since Trump ordered a freeze on most U.S. foreign aid hours after taking office. USAID has been targeted for closure by billionaire Elon Musk, who has been tasked by the president with downsizing the federal government. And he is doing exactly that. Another fun thing that USAID has been involved with. Now, Chief Nerd kind of points it out, but ultimately, this guy is an investigator. Okay? He's talking about these source and support, total awarded dollars. So we've got here, understanding the risk of bat coronavirus emergence. NIAID paid $3.586 million to Wuhan through Peter Daszak's EcoHealth. We also have another $3+ million going to understanding the risk of bat coronavirus emergence, NIAID. National Natural Science Foundation of China, we gave them $38 million. Projects called Predict 2. That also went through EcoHealth. That also came from USAID. It sounds like, potentially could have. Now, again, money went to the Wuhan Institute through EcoHealth, through Peter Daszak. went to the place that we are pretty sure the virus leaked from. We know they were doing gain-of-function research there. None of these particular funds show gain-of-function per se, but they easily could have been. Or we just also were funding all this other stuff to the place that happened to leak gain-of-function virus that made the entire world have a flu. Pretty crazy, right? This is Stephen Miller just beating up on the same USAID nonsense because everybody's just going off. They're so freaking out about how can Musk do this? Oh, they hate it. They hate the fact that he's given free speech to us. They hate Musk. Musk is enjoying this. I think he would tell them to go fuck their face. I think.
There's probably no entity in the government that is more of an entrenched power center of unelected bureaucrats with less accountability, less oversight than USAID. They funnel money to their cronies all over the world through a swampy network of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and cutouts, including potentially some very troubling elements of focusing on things like regime change and destabilizing foreign countries. But this is not about America's interests. Donald Trump is courageously restoring democracy. Article 2 of the executive branch vests all power by the Constitution. Article 2 of the Constitution vests all power of the executive branch in a president. It's known as the vesting clause. It says the executive power shall be vested in a president, singular, not in the bureaucracy, not in unelected, lifetime tenured career civil servants. Americans voted for one man, Donald J. Trump. They didn't vote for a single bureaucrat at USAID. They voted for Donald Trump to make government accountable to the taxpayer, to make government accountable for them. If the Democrats are saying, as they are, that President Trump cannot implement his agenda at USAID, that Donald Trump cannot fire recalcitrant bureaucrats, what they are saying, what Democrats are saying, is they oppose democracy itself. They oppose the idea that the American people can elect a man, in this case, our President Donald Trump, to reform the government according to the will of the people. This is a battle between the will of the people through their President Donald Trump and the will of an unelected federal bureaucracy. So we and President Trump are on the side of democracy.
I like how he doesn't shut up. Like, if he, God forbid, if he ever ends up on my show, and that'd be cool if he did. I mean, I would be for that for sure. But yeah, he would probably just own the show. Whatever. Edward R. Martin Jr. He's the United States Attorney, District of Columbia. Says, quotes, "Our initial review of the evidence presented to us indicates that certain individuals and or groups have committed acts that appear to violate the law in targeting Doge employees." This is what Edward R. Martin Jr., the U.S. Attorney for District of Columbia, says. He says, quote, "We are in contact with FBI and other law enforcement partners to proceed rapidly. We also have our prosecutors preparing." What he's referring to is the mechanism has started to attack Doge employees, not just Musk, of course, but people that are helping with this process, going into offices and whatnot. And they're, interestingly, getting threats. And this is one of the reasons why they closed the building that housed or locked down the data that houses all of the United States government employees, their addresses, and all this stuff. Because they were going to take that or continue to take it. They've shut it down. And so they are literally going after people. Well, we've got Edward R. Martin that they're already working with FBI, who we know Pam Bondi just got put in. So FBI is going to have to start at least doing what she says. Hopefully someone's in charge over there that, for now, until we get cash in play, which his vote's supposed to be coming up at a weird time, by the way. I think I've got a slide for it, like 1 a.m., something crazy. This is huge. What we're going through, the way this change is happening, the way the deep state is fighting it, the way, who cares what the media is saying, by the way? I know a lot of you guys do, and that's fine, but who cares? We're the media now. You guys are the ripple makers. You guys are the media. You guys are the ones that get eyes on stuff. Deep state news sucks, and their ratings are going down, 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 and some of them are just closing down in general. Now, Russia's Medvedev, He's warning that the U.S. deep state might swallow Musk. Pretty funny little play on words, that the deep state. Talking about, what was it, Deep Throat? Wasn't that the name of one of the government things we did against Russia? So he was talking about how the Deep Throat might get plugged, if you will. It's kind of funny. Funny little move by Dmitry there. But anyways, yeah, he's kind of giving a warning to Musk. Like, hey, you know the intelligence agencies, and we've already got Schumer for this one, coming out and saying things like, hey, you better watch out. So it's interesting. Musk is in a dangerous place as well. It's why he's got his whole family, like multiple wives and multiple children living in this like 3-house little area, and they've got the schools right there. Like Musk's like, these kids are going to be brilliant. You guys are going to be safe. I'm going to make sure of that, but you can't just be living wherever the hell you want to live. That's just too hard to deal with. Axios posted this. Trump's spending freeze order has been paused again by a federal judge. Now, essentially what's happened with this, and it's pissing off the deep state badly, Trump's like, okay, no, it's cool. We retracted the statement that they made, they put out a post. I think what did they call it? I don't know if it matters, but there's a temporary pause on the federal funding, and essentially they've pulled back, they've withdrawn the orders. The memo, there it is. White House said pulling back the memo. They're just pulling back the memo. All right, you guys have a problem with this memo. It's probably how the lawsuit was written, right? So all right, we've pulled back the memo. We're still going to continue to oversee how the money's being spent. It's their job. And this D.C. court, I don't know, it's going to have a hard time. Again, we'll see how this plays out. This is going to be a very powerful year for the Supreme Court. And I think we've still got the right people in there. I think we've gotten some BS stuff here and there. I know people have been concerned about our Comey Barrett and Kavanaugh, but I don't think we have to be. And I actually don't think we have to be with the others. I think the others minus possibly one, but I even think Kentucky is going to come around. No, it's going to be about this country. And people are going to see it. Great post that was put out. So please read this, which I'm doing. Digest this. Not yet. In the morning. It's a thing, No actions yet, but we will do it together. An army of Americans will rain down. This is in relation to the people trying to fight. Should have connected this better. They're trying to fight us. Well, Tory says it's talking about what they're planning on doing. And they haven't started yet. They're just saying, get ready. Because there's going to be a bunch of people that are going to make a list of judges in your state rooms. And they're going to justify why you believe we should all focus on them. This is how we take it on. U.S. judges are coming up to bat. You guys ready? So things are going to happen to judges, not physically, no, legally. Legally. These judges that are tied up in this stuff are going to get hit with all sorts of weird legal stuff. It should always be peaceful when it comes to this. We will do this legally always. But there are people that are ready to do a tidal wave of legal action. We've got a lot of soldiers prepared and activated, frankly. Chuck Schumer, pissed off. The guy's freaking out. An unelected shadow government is conducting hostile takeover of the federal government. DOGE is not a real government agency. DOGE has no authority. I feel like I was going to play this. Maybe I still kind of do. It's like 5 minutes long, and I was like, I was dying at 2, so I might play that much of it. But anyway, it says Doge has no authority, yada, 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 right? All over the place. I don't know if I actually have this or not, but Schumer's freaking out. That's kind of the takeaway. At USAID, waste and abuse runs deep. This is from the White House, whitehouse.gov, literally from the White House. Here are a few examples of the waste and abuse. 1.5 million advanced diversity, equity, inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. 70 grand for production of DEI musical in Ireland. I think she talked about these, didn't she? I think. No, so I think some of these are different. 47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia. 32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. Things these countries probably didn't want because they're kind of Christian Catholic countries. 2 million for sex change and LGBT activism in Guatemala. 6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. Can only imagine what that was about. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for nonprofit linked to designated terrorist organizations even after an inspector general launched an investigation. There's millions to EcoHealth Alliance, which was involved in research at the Wuhan lab. Hundreds of thousands of meals that went to Al-Qaeda-affiliated fighters in Syria. Funding to print personalized contraceptive birth control devices in developing countries. Hundreds of millions of dollars to fund irrigation canals, farming equipment, and even fertilizer used to support the unprecedented poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan. We were funding Afghanistan's poppy heroin production with USAID. Many were saying this was a CIA front, or CIA was using a lot of this money. Duh. Here's Flynn talking with, who's talking about Brennan, and, he's talking about all the crimey, slimy guys, right? Was it Stinchfield? I like this guy. But here's a pretty good little bit. Flynn talking about, here's the thing, guys, all you people that are trying to resist this, you're screwed. You best get on the right side of the fence, or, well, yeah, it's not going to work out well for you.
There are whistleblowers willing to come forward, and they are trying to subvert the nominations of President Trump. Can you tell me a little bit about this and just how deep this goes?
Yeah. So, and I was very specific in that post on X, and because I know there are people in the government that are already reporting. And so this is a warning to those people that are in the government that are part of this, or being asked to conduct basically subversion against a duly elected president of the United States. And yes, it is focused on these confirmations, because these confirmations are critical because of what they represent for our country and what this president, Donald J. Trump, wants to do to get this country back on the rails and, as he says, to make America great again. So these confirmations matter, but we're talking about specific people that are inside, that are helping people that are on the outside, that are well-known names, and Trump has been doing an amazing job with this 51, right? The 51, spearheaded by John Brennan, and I keep mentioning John Brennan's name because John Brennan keeps popping up, and every so often John Brennan's name pops up, and you kind of wonder, okay, is John Brennan is he the quarterback for the subversion effort going against the United States of America right now? Okay, because if you're inside the government, this is my warning. If you're inside the government, believe me, there are people that are already beginning to report, and you're going to get caught. So don't get caught. And in fact, if you go ahead.
All right. So is this a shadow government? I'll talk to independent friends who aren't really knowledgeable. Is it a shadow government, or am I crazy to call it that?
No, it's a shadow government. It's I say that the intel community is like the fourth branch of government because they're totally out there on their own. This is something that Donald Trump is going to have to deal with. But it's a shadow government. It's a deep state. These are people that are outside, that are still in the swamp of Washington, D.C., that they will lose a lot if they get caught, believe me. And some of them, like I said in another post, that some of them are going to need to be measured for new outerwear. And I'm telling you, this is this serious of a time. And back again to the warning. The warning goes to those people that are being asked to conduct this kind of illegal form of warfare, if you want to call it that, inside of our government to subvert this elected president. And they have to stop this, folks. You're going to get caught, and woe betide you if you get caught.
Yeah, this is treasonous behavior. There's no other way to explain it. And I think you guys know who these people are. And so they better look out if they don't stop. I'll give you the last word on this, General.
Well, I know that people are listening. So there's people listening, not only in Washington, D.C., everybody's paying attention because Trump is, he is very serious, and he's only been there for a couple of weeks. So you can see the sort of the phasing, I use a military term here, the phasing of operations that President Donald J. Trump has begun to institute to basically get control of this government. And a lot of it's going to be exposure, just as Elon is doing with the Department of Government Efficiency. We need to get Kash Patel, Tulsi Gabbard, and Bobby Kennedy into those jobs confirmed, and they need to be confirmed immediately. This is the president's team and not the Senate's team, and they need to help this president of the United States. These guys, a lot of them got into office because President Donald J. Trump got them there, and we need to take advantage of that in this short period of time.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. It's such a cool time to be alive. I can't even tell you how often I think that to myself. I'm like, this is so freaking awesome. This is happening. Marjorie Taylor Greene put this out all while you were forced to pay $5, $6, and some places $7 a gallon for gas. But it wasn't about the gas stations. It was money laundering. Where and who did the money go? And what she's relating to, is this post from Libs of TikTok talking about in Afghanistan, we shelled out some $42.5 million overall to build a natural gas station in Afghanistan. Now, again, this is probably tied into the poppy production. Keep that in mind, because the way they sell it to us, even still here, Marjorie Taylor Greene, is the way she's found out about it, or the way she thinks about it. That, oh my God, they built a gas station that nobody could afford, and that's true. No normal person in Afghanistan could even afford to get this thing filled up from there. It was ridiculously expensive compared to what a normal person made. And we spent $42 million to do this. Now, again, I'm sure it went to other things. Trump is going to withdraw U.S. from the UN Human Rights Council. They're going to end funding for Gaza Aid Agency. Done. So many things are being abused. So much money is being smuggled into bad places. They can say, you're giving up clean water for children? How can you do that? Well, we're going to look into where the money's going. We're actually going to audit things. Trump's been held to audits his whole entire career. So let's hold the government to audits. Government's like, no. We don't want you to see where it's been. Council spending taxpayer money on PlayStations for asylum seekers. This is happening, where's this, England? Yeah, this is up in England, guys, for all you guys up there. So apparently a lot of the asylum seekers coming into England right now, you guys are paying money to get them some access to PlayStations and stuff like that. Now, let's be honest, it's probably PlayStation 1, not the newest stuff maybe, but it's costing you guys about 141 million pounds, which I assume is a lot. Examples include West Sussex spending £334 on PlayStation consoles for hotel residents, and what is this, Croydon Council? They're allocating £317 million, or £317,000, sorry, I'll learn my numbers, on extra services beyond essential needs. What is that, like massages? What kind of services are we talking about? China strikes back with tariffs on U.S. goods. Yeah, they're not happy about what we're doing. Kind of interesting, though, how they're striking back. The story, in case it matters, is, well, they're continuing to probe Google for anti-monopoly type stuff. All right. What else you got? They're gonna tariff some of our stuff. They say it slap 15% tariff on U.S. coal and liquefied natural gas, targeting oil and farm equipment with 10% levy. All right, stuff that they need. They can't make nearly as good as we can, but that's cool. That's fine. You guys don't want the farming equipment from the U.S. It's cool. We don't sell that much to you. But what is super funny is the fact that they've shut down, or they got the Google thing going on. Well, do we trust Google? You trust Google? I don't. No offense, YouTube. But I don't trust Google at all. Zero. Trust them, zero. In fact, I say they're deep state. So the fact that China's looking into them, I almost kind of wonder if this is sort of a weird, backhanded kind of way of going after a deep state company. Again, CCP, don't trust them, zero. And I don't know what's going on with Xi. I hoped and heard there was a chance that he was going to work with Trump. Now that Trump's in office, who knows if maybe there might be a push from Xi to finally try to stop the CCP within his country, because the CCP is a giant, it is like the deep state in our country. It is a giant piece of equipment. And you end up dead, and your organs donated probably, if you fight that. Trump, too. Got shot in the air because of, well, God protected him. That's kind of the cool thing. 20,000 federal workers are, or so far have, taken the buyout. It's awesome. Now, we've got 3+ million people in government, so 20 grand's not that many. But that's okay. A bunch of you will get fired, or highly recommend, today is the last day, I think, Tuesday, They had to take it by today, or else maybe things get a little more difficult. Some departments of education staff have been put on leave after Trump's DEI reversal. Dozens, in fact, they're saying. While no specific reasons were given, some employees told ABC they believe the only common thread among them is that they attended a voluntary training called the Diversity Change Agent Training Program. The letter states that the administrative leave notice is not for disciplinary purposes. Rather, it's being issued under President Donald Trump's executive order on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and further guidance from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management. Per the letter, employees will receive full benefits and benefits through the end of the administrative period. They are not required to do work-related tasks during this time, nor are they required to come into the office. Employees who are placed on leave also had their government email access suspended as they received the letters. There's no set time for the leave period according to the letter. So essentially, we're going to continue to pay you until we can figure out how legally to proceed. But you no longer have a job that functions. You no longer can influence anybody at all. Trump is doing this perfectly. You shut down the communications avenues and you make it very difficult for them to do any of the stuff they were planning on doing. Here's Ilhan Omar. She's telling people within her own state, people that are Ethiopian or Somalian, in her states, that are trying to avoid detention by ICE. This is a House of Representative member committing a crime.
waxaan ula talinayaa dadka Soomaalida ah haddii ay maxaa la dhahaa ii sheeg ice ay isku dayaan inay ku su'aalaan muku qasban tihid inaad su'aalahooda aad ka jawaabtid waxaad dhihi kartaa lawyer aan advice garay inaanan ku jawaabin qasab ma aha magacaaga iyo sharciga ku joogtid iyo waxaas oo dhan isaa ku imaataybo inaad kala hadashid marka baro sharciyada.
Well, I'm going to be honest. I understood two words. She said ice. You guys heard that. She also said Hock'em. And I remember the Eddie Murphy joke talking about Hock'em. I don't want no Hock'em on my bread. So I know that word too. So I've definitely, I felt like I understood much of what she said. Long story short, she's telling people literally how to prepare. If you weren't reading the screen, it just sounded like a bunch of... Yeah, exactly. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was. Here is Homan. Homan. Here's Homan talking about what's illegal and what's not, and he's literally taunting them at this point.
I don't want to get into too much detail, but there's someone in our broader universe whose immigration status is not yet at the point that they are trying to get it to, and we said, you know what, let's have her live at our house above our garage. And good luck to the feds coming in to try to get her.
I got note of it. Won't let it go. We'll look into it. And if he's knowingly harboring, concealing an illegal alien, that's a violation of Title 8 United States Code 1324. I would seek prosecution, or the Secretary would seek prosecution. So maybe he's bluffing. If he's not, we'll deal with that.
So this, again, this is New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy admitting he's harboring an illegal alien. Yeah. Then his own property. Yeah, which means any other people that New Jersey governor is got under his hire, because I'm sure he's got a maid and some other stuff, I'm sure they would also fall into the same category. So he's hired someone illegally. We'll find out what he's paying them. I'm sure it's, an interesting wage. Mexican cartels now are targeting Border Patrol agents with kamikaze drones, explosives amid Trump crackdown. I say now in that they've given the order to do this. If, in fact, this actually happens, drug cartels will officially have declared war physically, kinetically, against the United States. That was not going to go well for the drug cartels. I get they're powerful, at least in Mexico. They will be annihilated by the full force of the United States government, and your president will do nothing to stop what will come. In fact, she'll rejoice. But this will also send a loud and clear message to the criminal cartel throughout the world. Not only FAFO or FAFO, fuck around and find out, but you're going down. And we're going to bring this whole effing thing down around your head. That's exactly what's happening. ACLU sues over Trump shutting down the asylum access at the southern border. Whatever. Okay. You sue away. Trump is the executor of the borders. And asylum is not a guaranteed granted thing in the Constitution. So we'll see. We'll have fun with this. We'll see also what the judge will freeze that and let people just run across that are asylum seekers. No, it ain't going to happen. And Trump will keep them out anyway. I would bet he would defy the order anyway, especially after what he's been through in New York and in Georgia. Any sort of shit-ass judge, he's going to get he's got departments now that can go after him, I bet. You got a rogue judge doing stuff that's not appropriate. Well, there's things within that branch that he's probably got an ear listening to that will do what he'd like. So, yeah, please, judges, continue to do what we know you're going to do. United States Air Force spy plane runs SIGINT operations, signal intelligence operations near Cabo, down in Mexico. Many think this is in preparation for some of the big stuff going on. Big time. Things are getting real, folks. We've got people in Cuba, of course, but that's for criminals. But we're about to have some heavy shit go down at the border, likely. Again, think of the stock market. DRSlikesgold.com. Seriously, folks. Let my friends at Goldco help you. DRSlikesgold.com. We are not in these happy times. We've still got a lot of stuff to walk through. Oh, cool. I did have this again. I think I read this already. But yeah, Edward Martin's going to be fighting a lot of the BS that's happening. He will be going after these people, and that's fantabulous. Tish James Letitz, as I like to call her. She says New York Attorney General tells hospitals to continue transgender care after Trump's executive order. All right. It's going to affect your funding, and it's going to affect a lot of things, Tish. And you know Trump hates your ass. Literally, probably. I mean, I don't know. Hate's a really horrible thing, by the way, folks. You should literally harbor no hate. If you hate something, you should immediately change it for I dislike enormously. Hate is an ugly word. Ugly. It's worse than many words that you guys have a problem that I say all the time. I'm just going to say. I love this company, and I'm not 100% sure which thing it was. Healthy Home. Heal thy home. Two ways to look at it. But danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. I don't know if it's the stem active, because it could be, or if it's the collagen thing. But my shoulder, I was tripping me out last night while I was sleeping. I'm like, dude, your shoulder feels good. I was working out just yesterday. I was doing some of the bench, the incline bench. And I was like, this one I used to feel in the shoulder. And I'm not. I don't know what else I'm doing in my life, but it was bugging the hell out of me for a while. Since I started taking these products, I got 3 of them, and the other one's just total energy. I love it. It's fantastic. But Stem Active's awesome. You got stem cells. Stem cells are cells that can become like any other cell, right? They're just a bland cell running around wanting to be somebody, right? And then they find the right influencer, and then they become just like that influencer. Example, you got a lung that needs to be repaired. It makes a call out. It says, stem cells, come to the rescue. And they come running in as stem cells, as non-binary cells or whatever. Just trying to be funny with it. And they go to the lung and they're like, oh, I want to be a lung cell. And they become one, literally. And they're now a lung cell. Stem cells can become other cells. You're going through some problems in your life, maybe even some therapies that might be destroying some cellular activity. Well, stem cells diminish hugely as we age. This thing pumps your numbers up big. They say, I don't know whether the number's 6 million, but I want to say it's 18 million stem cells is what we usually had. This thing pumps them up 6 million or something like that within the first 20 minutes. It's stupid powerful. And I think it likely could be a huge player. Now, the only reason why I'm not 100% sure is this is collagen down here. And first off, they got Stem Active 2 ways. You can take it as the pill, which is what I do. Or you got a gel. You can suck it down and rock and roll on the gel. Amaze is what I'm holding here. This is talking about collagen. So wrinkled or sagging skin, weakened or sore muscles, discomfort in joints, weakened or lifeless hair, and more. It's probably this. I don't know. But this is fantastic. So between all of the wonderful things I'm doing, and the other one, I haven't done this antioxidant thing. I don't even know if I could do 4 things at once, frankly. But the Prime, I love. This is huge. Nitric oxide booster gives me energy. A lot. Supposedly good for your heart. I think it helps your blood basically carry more oxygen. It's powerful. This one I love. I take this before I work out, and I notice a difference. This is energy. And it lasts a while. And it's not like caffeine. It's weird. I don't know what it is. Like I drank energy drinks and stuff a lot when I was younger. I think that's why I always think that way. Like, yeah, take caffeine, you'll stay awake. Drink coffee. But now this is like, you don't need to do any of that stuff. It's just energy. It's weird. You got more oomph going on, more in your gas tank. And they actually have a stem active for your pets. Again, these cells turn into whatever you need, and they help enhance majorly the numbers you have going on. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. That's danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Make that huge choice. Make that difference in your own life. Start putting things into your body, 1, that are high quality, but 2, making a difference. And you're actually going to start to notice. The collagen one, it's probably the one that's helped my shoulder. Powerful stuff. Check it out. Go to danradiostyle.healthyhome.com, danradiostyle.healthyhome.com, or heal thy home, but danradiostyle.healthyhome.com. Donald Trump truthed this out. He says, I am pleased to announce appointment of Michael Ellis to serve as the Deputy Director of the Central Intelligence Agency. During my first term, Michael served at the White House National Security Council and helped expose abuses of the unmasking process by the Obama administration at the beginning of the Russia hoax. Michael was also General Counsel of the House Intelligence Committee under Devin Nunes and was selected to be General Counsel of the National Security Agency before being corruptly purged by the Biden administration. I mean, Trump's going to probably purge some people too, right? So, whatever. GOP's Susan Collins, she's supposed to be backing Tulsi. I'm pretty sure Tulsi got the vote. I think she did. No, Bondi did. I don't think Tulsi's got the vote yet. I think that's coming either today or whatever. So, I don't know. She's looking like she might very well at least make it out of the committee. Where's she in? It's considered crucial swing vote. Intelligence Committee. Yeah, she's going to make it out of the committee, it looks like. Which, again, Collins, I think, realizes, too, she's going to get destroyed politically if she doesn't actually move along with what the MAGA agenda is doing. January 6th, conspiracy theory promoter named to a top State Department, says NBC News. So this is fun. Darren Beattie, who, let's get down here. He's a conservative author. They say he spreads conspiracy theories, but Secretary of State Marco Rubio tapped Darren Beattie to be acting Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy. This position in a permanent capacity is going to require a Senate confirmation, so we'll see that ball getting moved forward. This guy used to publish at Revolver News. That's why the media hates him, especially NBC, because Revolver News has become a reasonably good news source, I would say. So this dude's going to quit that job while he continues on this full-time endeavor. Powerful time, powerful changes, getting the right people in the right places. This guy, the deep state, dislikes a lot, so that's also fantastic. Donald Trump Jr. says, it is my pleasure to nominate Joe Kent as the Director of National Counterterrorism Center. As a soldier, Green Beret, and CIA officer, Joe has hunted down terrorists and criminals his entire adult life. Above all, Joe knows the terrible cost of terrorism, losing his wonderful wife, Shannon, a great American hero, who was killed in the fight against ISIS. Joe continues to honor her legacy by staying in the fight. Joe will help us keep America safe by eradicating all terrorism, from the jihadists around the world to the cartels in the backyard. Trump's looking for people that have some skin in the game. Kind of feels like it, doesn't it? So the Senate voted 52-46 for Pam Bondi. She passed the critical vote. Pam Bondi is our Attorney General, or at least confirmation votes on Wednesday. The Senate voted, passing critical vote. Final confirmation vote will be Wednesday. What will they do, a practice vote? Really? We got to wait until Wednesday to get that friggin' vote for sure. Confirmation vote for Tulsi Gabbard's vote scheduled for today as well. Oh, cool. Hope we'll get that. We'll see. We'll see. It hasn't happened. At least it hadn't yet. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a quick skim through when I get to the end. Absolute Redux put this out. The vote to confirm Pam Bondi as AG will be held at approximately 1 a.m. February 5th. Oh, that's the vote that we're going to have for her on Wednesday. It's going to happen at a weird time. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's up. I don't know if they're trying to do it in the middle of the night because they want to get it passed through. I don't know if I'm, bringing it up is necessarily a good idea. Whatever. Tulsi Gabbard appears to be seeking to assuage a senator's concerns about her nomination in a new opinion piece that she wrote. She admitted that Snowden's release of classified information to the media harmed our national security, but also revealed illegal and unconstitutional government programs that conducted mass surveillance on millions of Americans' data. She's right. We wouldn't have known about it had Snowden not told us. Period. And I don't think anyone died because of it, but yeah, they lost some tools that they were using to harvest information out of people legally and illegally. Tulsi Gabbard has secured enough votes to be confirmed as the director of the National Intelligence. This is from General. I'm not sure if we've got some actual anything other than somebody just claiming this, but we'll see if we get more info on that as well. She probably is going to make it. Donald Trump put this out 20 years ago. Autism in children was 1 in 10,000. Now it's 1 in 34. Wow. Something's really wrong. We need Bobby. Thank you, DJT. And yeah, Bobby has been confirmed. That was huge. Huge. Bobby Boy is in the game, and we are going to get there. Trump saying, on the truth, Canada has agreed to ensure we have a secure northern border and to finally end the deadly scourge of drugs like fentanyl that have been pouring into our country, killing hundreds of thousands of Americans while destroying their families and communities all across our country. Canada will implement their $1.3 billion border plan, and as per Prime Minister Trudeau, will be reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology and personnel, enhanced coordination with our American partners, and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canada-U.S. joint strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. I have also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be backing it with $200 million. As president, it is my responsibility to ensure the safety of all Americans, and I am doing just that. I'm very pleased with this initial outcome, and the tariffs announced on Saturday will be paused for a 30-day period to see whether or not the final economic deal with Canada can be structured. Fairness for all. Now, Justine Trudeau just said I had a good call with Trump. Canada's implementing their plan. It says, in addition, Canada's making new commitments, blah, 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 right? All the same stuff that Trump said. United States and El Salvador sign a memorandum of understanding concerning strategic civil nuclear cooperation. Apparently, Marco Rubio has given them the go-ahead, or at least said, yes, we will do this, El Salvador, to help them with their own nuclear power plants, the ability for them to basically create unlimited power. Well, unlimited's not fair. The size of the facility and all that, but still, power, very, very green and very, very cheap in the big picture. So we'll see. That movement will happen. Hopefully it's under some control, obviously, because power stations have nuclear fuel that could be used in nefarious ways. It's also dangerous if nobody's properly maintaining it. So like if for some reason the world got freaky or crazy and suddenly nobody could go to work anymore for whatever reason, those things would become unstable very quickly too. But Rubio says El Salvador offers to accept deportees from the U.S. of any nationality, including Americans. It's like, hey, look, you want to send anybody here, we'll take them. That might mean you become a slave. Might suck for you. But I don't know, maybe Trump might actually consider sending some prisoners that have been here a while somewhere else. I don't know. He's got options, it sounds like. China hits back at Trump with tariffs on U.S. goods and the Google probe. We kind of talked about this before. FBI agents try to block administration's effort to examine Trump's January 6 cases. This is going to be fun. So attorneys for the agents said using information about cases involving January 6 or President Donald Trump's to fire FBI employees would be unlawful and retaliatory. No, it's not. He's worried about people that are going to hold allegiance to the executive branch, not people that are somehow okay and immune from the law. Sorry, FBI, but you guys will be conformed. Period. And that's all there is to it. You have no leg to stand on. Trump is the executor of this branch. End of story. And he can put them into some different position, by the way. That's fine. Be like, all right, yeah, we'll shove them off into... we got a place up in Siberia that Russia lets us keep up there that they're well aware of. We're going to put you up there and, F off. 2 airport authority workers have been arrested for allegedly leaking D.C. plane crash video to CNN. Kind of wonder about this one. I don't know, the Metropolitan Washington Airport Authority, and staffers, a couple of them, they leaked this photo that was uniquely good, and they didn't like that. And it might have been one of the things that kind of showed direct intention by the helicopter, what seems to run into the plane. Or at least got a lot of us thinking that. So all said, it's interesting. They're gonna arrest these people. I don't know that's DC. Again, still there shouldn't be a governor of DC or a mayor of DC. That's not appropriate, considering DC should fall under the executive branch. I forget what the section is in the Constitution, but all of our territories fall under that same regulation, and that would actually speak to even maybe like the forests and stuff that we've got throughout our country, and national parks and everything else. So again, crazy happening all over. Trump suggests U.S. could receive rare earth minerals from Ukraine in exchange for continued support. Basically saying, look, you're going to have to give us a whole bunch of stuff that's worth a whole bunch of money if you want any more support. Doubtful they're going to, because somebody else probably already has them, deep state. But Trump is putting it out there. Now, Russia's kind of saying, whoa, back off on this. And their reasoning is kind of funny. So I'm going to quote their boy, who the Kremlin spokesperson, Dmitry Peskov. He says, if we call things as they are, this is a proposal to buy help. In other words, not to give it unconditionally or for some other reason, but specifically to provide it on a commercial basis. He said, it would be better, of course, for the assistance to not be provided at all, as that would contribute to the end of this conflict. Calling them out like, yeah, it'd be better if you guys not really continue to give weapons to Ukraine. Can we just stop? Can we just stop the violence? You guys keep giving them weapons. They keep lobbing them at us. Can we stop for a second? Just time out, holding, right? Or in a football term for all the people that understand what soccer is, right? You throw a flag on the field. Or it's not really a flag. It's you card, right? You break out the card. Sorry. Flags are football. Saudi Arabia, the UAE, they're going to be seen as possible venues where Trump can go and meet and work something out with Putin. I think it's also probably for the other people that can show up there. I don't think this is a lone gun deal. I think he's going to meet with people and make some bigger plans. Trump moving around, one, very dangerous, kind of like Putin too. That's why they got to find a place that's safe. And Trump is there to do business in a big way. And I don't just mean make money or anything crazy like that for the U.S., but there to kind of take down the deep state. That's business in a big way. Netanyahu is apparently getting ready for about $1 billion worth of deal. Joe Biden had, of course, shut down all of the bombs, right? The 2,000-pound bombs, I believe they were. Shut them down, said you can't have them because you use them irresponsibly. Trump's undone that. He's also sold them 4,700 1,000-pound bombs. I think they have a whole bunch of the JDAMA kits already, because I remember reading that they did. Sending 4,700 1,000-pound bombs. They're saying that's about a $700 million deal. Also a bunch of armored bulldozers that are built by Caterpillar, worth more than $300 million. Again, China's going after our Caterpillar-type stuff. I think in the big picture it's fine. They're probably already stolen the technology anyway. So these new arms requests are going to be paid for we'll see. But Trump is at least helping out Netanyahu. We'll continue to move in that vein. And again, I want to remind you guys of a great place where you can support the channel. I got 2 places where you can support the channel, by the way. I haven't brought up the other one in a while. But you got the of course, truththread.shop. There it is. Good Lord. Truththread.shop. I'm wondering if I can find the other one, though. Because we also have the Dan I'd Rather shirt, which and I don't want to lose sight of that because the lady that built that for me, that was really nice of her. She drew the picture. I'll pull that up first, and then we'll pull it up right here, just so we got that one. Whoops, that's not the same thing. Whoops. No, I'm not a very bright man, but I know what love is. Let's try this one. Let's try this. That'll make it. Yeah, so there's a link below, but it's on Bonfire. So they got the Dan I'd Rather shirt. She's still selling them. That's so cool as hell. But yeah, anyway, just cool if you want to. And then it says on the back, I think, like today's news or Dan's today's news or something cool. Whatever the case is. I thought it was super cool. But we've got also a very good friend is selling some stuff for you guys, printing herself, just helping support a family of 4, really. You got 2 little kids and 2 little monsters. They're good guys, but obviously a husband and wife, and they're just trying to, do like the rest of us, make the best of everything. So we've got a lot of the Dan Radio style memorabilia. You guys should check that all out. Go to truththread.shop, truththread.shop. Also got some other cool stuff, too. They've got the 9/11 Never Forget, and there's stuff on the back. You click on the picture, and you'll see the back pictures. They've got the Ephesians 6:11, put on your armor of God. And I say put it on and keep it on. Don't waste time like taking it off. It's stupid. 5G warfare is a big one, too. So we've got all of our awesome products there. Go check them out at truththread.shop. Truththread.shop. Important thing, when you buy this, you're going to get sent an email that says, hey, here's your confirmation or whatever. When you get the merchandise, put it on, take a picture, send it back to that email, and I will use it in a video. I don't get very many, guys. I wish you guys would buy more merch, but you don't have to. I get it. Times are a little interesting these days, but I'd love to get more pictures. Like, I want to be able to put a video together, and I'm really close to being able to do the 3rd video, but not yet. If you guys can hit that up, go to truththread.shop, truththread.shop, helping spread the word, helping spread channel stuff, just helping the world be a better place. All that stuff's happening right here, of course. And, of course, that's what we're all about. We're rippling together. We're working together, I hope, shoulder to shoulder, as I say. But where any one of us go, every one of us goes. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.